Hey guys, it's Stephanie. I just wanted to do a quick video just to talk about the books I am currently reading at the moment. So the first book I am reading, I am doing as a buddy read with Kate Howe, and that is Catherine Banner's The House at the Edge of Night. This is one of the new release. This is the new release that I talked about in my book freak out video. And this takes place on a very small island off the coast of Italy called Castellamare, and we follow 4 generations of the Esposito family. It starts at the end of World War I, and right now I am halfway through the book, and it is a few years after World War II. I am just absolutely loving this book. It just has what I love in multi-generational stories and an exotic location. It's just a perfect summer read, just the setting and the feel of it. They're just so comforting. This is a lot like 100 Years of Solitude in the feel and the kind of story that it is, but I would not say the writing is quite as literary. I think this is Catherine Banner's adult debut. She wrote a few YA books before this, but this book nonetheless is super enjoyable, and we are just loving every minute of it. The next book I am currently in the middle of is Meg Wolitzer's The Interestings. I decided I should probably get around to reading this since Amazon Prime premiered the pilot for their show adaptation of The Interestings, so I really wanted to watch it, but of course I need to read the book first. And when I started this, I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it because it starts out when the group, when they are teenagers and they are at this prestigious summer camp for the arts. And their characters were just so, their pretentiousness as teenagers just made me cringe. Like, I could not stand these kids. But I think it makes sense for the novel, especially since we get to see them when they are older. And in that situation, since they were at this prestigious, art camp, and within that art camp, they were kind of the elite group, that there was just such high expectations for them to find success in life. We get to see them as adults and them still communicating within this group. So I think it just brings forth a lot of interesting dynamics. One for me especially is, like, I'm in my mid-20s, and in the age of social media, I think all of us in this, post-college, post-high school world with social media, you get to see the successes of your peers. I think it is really interesting in this novel because they all still hang out in their small group as adults, and as I mentioned, some of those in the group do find very lucrative careers and are very successful, and some do not. So it's interesting to see that as a group dynamic, as a small group. And it also, I think, is interesting to think about the expectations that are pressed upon you when you're a teenager, especially in late high school, and that people place upon themselves. So I don't want to say this book is interesting to describe a book that is called The Interestings, but it's really interesting and I really like it so far. The other book that I am in the middle of, and it's really slow, so I had to set it down, but I will get back to it, is Richard Russo's Empire Falls. I first heard about this book on I think it was like a bustle list of books to get you through the drought, like while we're waiting for the new Gilmore Girls season. And the reason this book was on the list is because it takes place in a small town in New England, and it follows the main character, manages a diner and he flips burgers there. He has a very intelligent teenage daughter. He's in the middle of a divorce. So obviously right there you can just see there's a lot of connections to the Luke character in Gilmore Girls. This is fairly slow paced. I had some library books come in and I just had to take a break from it. It is pretty enjoyable. I watched the first half. HBO did a miniseries adaptation that's available on Amazon Prime. It's 2 2-hour episodes, so I watched the first one, and where I'm at, it didn't spoil anything. So I'm hoping to just finish the second half of this so I can watch the second episode and see how they did. So far for the first episode, I think they did a really good job adapting it. I think they got the feel and everything, and I was pretty happy with the characters and the casting. So yeah, I will eventually get back to some Empire Falls. The next book I am reading, I got from the library, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time. and this is David Mitchell's Slade House. As I mentioned before in my Bookish Boxes video, I am a sucker for haunted house stories. When I heard that this was a haunted house story where you follow different people that find this house and their experiences with it, I absolutely had to read this book. I have never read anything by David Mitchell. If I finish this and I find that I really like it, I do want to check out The Bone Clocks, and then from there I'll see about Cloud Atlas. I have read only the first chapter of this, so just the first person's encounter with the house. So far it's really good and I like it, and I am excited to continue on with the book and read some more about Slade House. And I am also reading, this one came on my Kindle, I got it on Overdrive, and it is one that was recommended to me on my Bookish Boxes video, I think by Liz over at Now Voyaging, and it is Jane Smiley's 1,000 Acres. I recently purchased Jane Smiley's Some Luck, but I did mention I want to read 1,000 Acres before I read Some Luck, because Some Luck is the start of a family saga, like trilogy of books that spans over like 100 years. And 1,000 Acres is like a family drama that takes place on a farm in Iowa with a wealthy farming family, and it's just one book. It won the Pulitzer Prize in '91, I want to say. And I've only read, I think, the first 2 chapters of this, but I'm really enjoying it. It is about, like I said, a wealthy farming family in Iowa. It's a father and his 3 adult daughters. 2 of them live nearby, and one of them is a lawyer in Des Moines. And he retires and leaves the farm to his 3 daughters. The one that is a lawyer in Des Moines does not want to help out on the farm. She wants to continue being a lawyer and living her life. And the father becomes very upset, and so he cuts her out of the will and basically cuts her off completely. And so it is about the family dealing with that and all the aftermath from that decision, and of course some serious family drama going on there, and I love some family drama, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And then the last book I am kind of reading in and out is a collection of short stories. I told myself I was going to read 1 short story a day. That has not happened, so I have been reading short stories from this collection very sporadically, and that is Clive Barker's Books of Blood. This is volumes 1 through 3. I think there are 6 total. So I have read a few of these. I really like them. These are, if you don't know Clive Barker, these are horror short stories. And if you are familiar with his work, he's very gory. I am really enjoying it. I really enjoyed the movie adaptations of his work, which are also very gory in a really cheesy 80s gore kind of way, which I love. I love cheesy 80s gore. I need to get back and read these a little more consistently, but that does not mean I am not enjoying these. I am definitely really enjoying these, and I need to read some of Clive Barker's novels and novellas when I am done with this for sure. And yes, I did chop off 11 inches off my hair. Thank you for asking. It was just too much with this heat, and it was just absolutely ridiculous and too tough to work with. I am not made for having long hair. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Those are the books that I am reading at the moment, or that I have set down but are like kind of reading. Are you guys like me where you have like 8 books that you're reading kind of in the middle of? And what are you reading right now? I do love to read the comments and hear what you guys are reading. I love hearing about new books. So if you want to leave a comment and let me know, I would absolutely love that. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.